really believe you understand your own origins? Do you believe in the peaceful, steady timeline found in your textbooks, where humans began in damp caves, learned to strike fire, and then slowly built the first city-states in Mesopotamia only 5,000 years ago? Brace yourself, because that entire fortress of knowledge is about to collapse into dust beneath your feet. We are not the first to master this blue planet. We are not the pinnacle of intelligence. We are merely the survivors of a catastrophe, orphans picking through the fragments of a past that is older, more glorious, and 10,000 times more terrifying than anything you could imagine. We are a species with collective amnesia, a race stripped of its memory to make us easier to control. And today, that 10,000-year-old trance ends. Welcome to episode 4 of our journey for the forbidden truth. Today, we aren't just revisiting history, we are tearing it apart. Fly with me to southeastern Turkey, to a site that is currently shattering the very foundation of archaeology, Göbekli Tepe. Before this site was unearthed from the dust of time, mainstream historians swore that 12,000 years ago, humans were nothing more than primitive hunter-gatherers. They told us our ancestors back then knew nothing of agriculture, had no religion, and certainly possessed no knowledge of architecture. They were just wandering bands, living off whatever nature provided. But Göbekli Tepe stands as a direct slap to that arrogance. There, massive stone circles rise from the earth, featuring T-shaped pillars weighing up to 50 tons, exquisitely carved with lions, scorpions, and cryptic symbols belonging to no known language. The problem is not just its beauty. The problem is its age. Göbekli Tepe was built at the end of the last ice age, meaning it is 7,000 years older than the Great Pyramid of Giza. It appeared at a time when, according to textbooks, humans didn't even know how to fire a clay pot. How did the people we call cavemen organize a construction site involving thousands of workers? How did they cut basalt, a stone as hard as steel, with absolute precision without metal tools? And the most haunting question of all, why, after painstakingly building it, did they intentionally bury the entire site under tens of thousands of tons of earth in a systematic way? What were they hiding? Were they trying to preserve a time capsule for a distant future generation, a message from the teachers who descended from the sky? Mainstream science is silent because admitting the truth about Göbekli Tepe means admitting that human history began at the wrong time, under the wrong circumstances. The truth does not only lie upon the ground. It hides beneath the weathered surfaces of ancient maps that shouldn't exist. Look at the Piri Reis map, drawn in 1513, but based on source materials thousands of years older. It describes the coastline of Antarctica with staggering accuracy. But there is one detail that makes the scientific world tremble. It depicts Antarctica without ice. Modern science tells us that Antarctica has been covered in ice for millions of years. To see the true coastline beneath kilometers of ice, we require 20th century satellites and ground-penetrating radar. So, who was flying above, observing this planet from the perspective of a god, when Antarctica was still a lush, green land? Who measured the longitude and latitude of the entire world with absolute precision, when humans were supposedly still hunting mammoths with spears? This is not a coincidence. This is evidence of a long-range surveying technology, a superior intelligence that observed Earth from orbit thousands of years before we understood the concept of flight. We are not the first to map the world. We are merely rediscovering the drafts of the gods. As we dive deep into the ocean, the horrific picture of a global Great Reset begins to emerge. Beneath the violent waves off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan, lie massive stepped pyramids, straight stone roads, and blocks cut at perfect 90-degree angles. In the Gulf of Khambhat off India, the legendary city of Dvarka lies 40 meters beneath the sea, stretching for miles with colossal structures that defy time. These cities were not abandoned. They were submerged. They were erased in the blink of an eye approximately 11,600 years ago. At the exact moment the Ice Age ended with an unnatural suddenness. Geologists call this period the Younger Dryas. A horrific catastrophe, perhaps a cometary impact or a massive solar flare, instantly melted the polar ice caps. Sea levels rose hundreds of meters, creating tsunamis as high as skyscrapers, wiping away every trace of the greatest empires. The story of the Great Flood in the Bible, the legend of Noah's Ark, or the lost continent of Atlantis, these are not moral allegories. They are terrifying memories of a real event. An event that pressed the restart button on Earth's civilization. Who were the rulers before that catastrophe? What weapons and energy sources did they possess that we still cannot fathom? Why are academia and the halls of power so afraid to admit the existence of pre-cataclysmic civilizations? Because if they admit it, they must face a devastating truth, that modern human power is fleeting, that we are not the masters of our own destiny. If a civilization capable of building cities beneath the sea and mapping an ice-free Antarctica could still be destroyed, then who are we? They hide history to keep you in a state of submission. If you believe you evolved slowly from apes, you will accept the control of the current system. But if you knew you were the descendants of a divine race that once conquered the solar system, you would become ungovernable. We are standing on a massive graveyard. Every step we take on this earth may be treading on the ashes of a technology that once mastered space and time. We are not the pinnacle of evolution. We are scavengers, trying to reconnect the severed lines of communication with the architects from the stars. The truth is right there, beneath the ice of Antarctica, deep within the ocean floor, and inside the very sequences of your mysterious DNA. Can you feel it? An urge, a call from the past vibrating in your veins. History is not what you were taught in cramped classrooms. History is what they tried to bury under the earth of Göbekli Tepe. They have been watching us from the shadows, waiting for the moment we are mature enough to face our true origin. In our next episode, we will dive into the darkest secret of all time, the pre-human era. We will encounter the entities that ruled Earth millions of years before the creature called man ever appeared. Who are they? Are they still here? Do you have the courage to look into the abyss of time, where the true gods still exist, and observe? Keep your mind open, because the truth is not just information, it is an awakening. Are you ready to see the true face of the world? Do not take your eyes off the sky, because the people who mapped Antarctica before the ice, they are preparing to return.